want to go through some comments that some people made. David Feldman, the founder of BKFC, was kind of the first one that came out and said, "You're asking for too much, and if you don't jump on something quickly, you're going to lose some of your momentum, some of your leverage." When you heard those comments from him, what did you think? Because I think people started to hear these comments, and I'm going to get to Chatri in a moment, and they're like, "Oh, look at Francis fumbling the bag," not considering that perhaps maybe you weren't interested in going to them, but because they were coming out first, they were doing the whole like, X this one, X that one. So first, the comments from David Feldman. Did you ever seriously consider BKFC? And if yes or no, what did you then make of his comments when he talked about how you were handling your situation?
I just think he assumed that I'm so expensive, obviously, because he has to take a loan of his house to put on the show. Then I think he assumed that that loan couldn't pay me because I never spoke to him. My team never spoke to him. And then when I
Wow.
saw his comment, I'm like, where is this guy coming from? Then I checked my phone. I call my team. I'm like, do somebody talk with this guy that I'm not aware of? And everyone check his message. Well, I'm like, bro, we just saw this and they're checking. I'm like, no, we haven't talked to this guy. So I don't know where he came from. So that's even why I didn't talk about it. I'm like, this guy is just a joke. He's, but, you know, and at some point, he was promoting his show, his event. Yeah, he gonna do anything, take a little bit of PR here and there, everything that he can do. But I never talked to that guy. We never asked him anything, and he never even reached out. Not to say we weren't interested, we weren't, but he never even reached out. So he didn't know if yes or not we were interested.
Okay.
So
Two sides to
that's
every
like
story.
that's why like that's what I say, like some promoter out there, hey bro, two faces, crazy stuff.
A few weeks ago, I had Chatri Sityodtong, the founder of One Championship, in studio. He said, "I'm meeting with Francis on Saturday in LA. I feel like we are close, and I think that we can offer him the best deal." Uh, the meeting happens Sunday night. Monday morning, I wake up to a message from Chatri saying that we're out of the Francis sweepstakes. We couldn't come to terms on the non-financial terms. Then it comes out he said that you wanted to be on their board, that you wanted to control how much your opponent made, all this stuff. When you heard what Chatri said after the fact, what did you think?
Well, I think he's just being chattery. Um, I've heard about it, but I have to feel on my own, you know. Um, I think Chatri was just performing. First of all, he has a meeting and he has to go on the show to announce the meeting. Everybody that I have had a meeting with, I had meeting with PFSO uh, many times, and you never heard of. I haven't signed with PFL, and you never heard of. But you have a guy that we are going to talk. And before then, he knew I have told him and Matt Holmes that I get a best offer from PFL and this, and I don't think this is not. We are not. I'm not going to do any negotiation with you guys. And that was like back like 6 weeks before that. And I'm like, oh, I can fly you to my show in Singapore. I can fly to Cameroon. I can this. And he was all in me. Like, I'm like, bro, this is too much. I don't know how to handle this. Like, how did you gonna fly to Cameroon? What for? I just tell the guy the situation, and then he keep pushing. And then I send it to my team, like, bro, I can handle this pressure from Chatri. Then he keep pushing, and like, yes, I'm gonna be in LA. Then they were like, yes, Francis is coming. So I have to see him for respect. We had a talk. I respect the guy. I love. I mean, matter of fact, I love Chatri. Before this drama, I'm like, oh, I like this guy. I like his story. Now I haven't doubt. I've even questioned if that story is true, but I used to love that story. So we met in LA, and I was just like, and upfront, before anything starts, I'm like, listen, this is the thing. I have told you this. I'm favoring PFM right now. And he was like, then why do you get me here? I'm like, to listen. First of all, I respect you. And even if I sign with PFL and someday come that you say, I want to meet you, Francis. You didn't say you want to meet me on the business because you were on with my team talking on in business, and then you say you want to meet me. So sounds like it's not business anymore, right? So then then he started to put like all this stuff, like started showing me all those screenshots. Like I think he showed me like 13 screenshot, uh, all the statistic how one FC is the second more view sport in the sport is more. He has more view on YouTube than Premier League, than NFL, than NBA. I'm like, damn, whoa, and he has a lot of those. I'm like, hold on a minute. Like, anyway, that was the whole meeting. And at some point, I really like, okay, it's good. I respect this guy and I take this meeting. I don't want to be rude, but I mean, I was just coming out of a 11 hours flight and have another flight to take to go back home. So I thought he would be like 1 hour or something, or 1 hour each. Find myself over 2 hours. I have to drink like 3 or 4 cup of coffee over there, listening to like all those statistics, how one FC is in Asia. Asia is 4.6 billion people. They're gonna do this. The data they show that. Show me on one FC are gonna explode. Are gonna be like Nelson Mandela. Hey, bro, he was a hell of a performance. By the way, I applaud Chatri for his performance.
When you left the meeting, did you consider it at all, or did you change your mind at all when you left the meeting, or
consider what? I didn't talk to him about business. I
it was
listened
just
to
about
Chatri all this time.
Oh
I
my
told
gosh.
him about what like. Okay, this is my position. I come here to listen. I don't know what you have to say. And here I'm like, yes, I can send this number to you. I'm like, I sent it to Markel already. I'm like, okay, if you send to Markel, then it's enough. You don't need to send it to me. Markel handled all that. So, and then he didn't send it to me. I didn't engage into like, oh, I want this, I want that. I didn't have any engagement. I mean, I'm sitting on the table and tell him that, okay, I'm going with this guy. So I have no reason to even ask him something. And here I'm like, why so much? Like, what can I do? What PFL is giving you that you can change your mind? Then I'm like, they are giving me so many things. They are giving me PFL Africa and this. And here I'm like, now, yes, we can do, as I told you, we can do road to one. We have road to one from this road to one. I'm like, no, bro. I'm saying PFL Africa. I'm not saying road to PFL. It's different,
Huge
completely
difference.
different. And then the structure is there. They have uh, they have like a fighter advising board that I think he misunderstood at that point. He didn't really understand because I said this was there already. I'm not even the one asking for it. The fighter advising board exists in the PFL already. I said they have this. Um, they have that. They are even offering a guarantee for me. And I'm like, we have a biggest platform. We can put you in our platform if you want to fight any type of uh, combat sport, whether it's MMA, boxing, kickboxing. I'm like, wait a minute. Like, where do you come from with kickboxing? Like, we do the I think it's a WBC in back in 2018. We get this guy from Thailand fight at home. I'm like, I think that was one thing that I have to call him out of. I'm like, yes, no disrespect, but I don't think my boxing career has to be put in that level. You kind of like diminish my boxing career. That was one thing that I'm like, okay, Chatri, I think that was like kind of like the enough is enough type of thing, you know. And but I tried to stay. I mean, I was respectful. Not like I was respectful. You have a guy that you admire, and he was talking, even though you weren't in, you were listening, right? I listened to him, and I give the time. I was just checking at my watch, make sure that I will not be late in my flight because I still have 1 hour to get to the airport. And then we talk, nice, and get off the phone. And then next day, it was Andrew sent me a screenshot of Chatri saying, "Oh, one FC decided to withdraw their offers." And I'm like, "Hold on, which offer are you talking about? The offer wasn't taken in consideration. You don't withdraw an offer that they haven't taken, right?" And say yes, not financial related or something, but I didn't just feel the energy. I'm like, really? You sit there, speak for 3 hours, and you didn't feel energy. You could have cut that meeting at any time. And anyways, and but I just knew that that was a PR move. So what I did, I checked on our message, the message that we had, and see if he deleted the message. And then first of all, I record all the message like, okay, Chatri is up to something. This is like a Chatri move right now. And obviously, I found one message missing afterward, but I record all the message to like, okay, let's do what you're about to do. I'll watch. But I knew that at the end of the day, I'm gonna come out and I'm gonna call him out. If he do something, uh, if he do something in that regard, uh, right? If he lie, I'm gonna cut him out along the way. And that's why, like, then the next day I start seeing on social, and he was like, yes. Then he switched on his own. Instead of like, yes, we withdraw. Then here I'm like, he went to from we withdraw to like, no, Francis was asking for too much. How do you withdraw a deal that somebody was asking too much, right? So you were technically that was two things. Which one is it, Chatri? Which one is the truth? Choose one, but it can be both together, right? Anyway, I saw that, and I'm like, oh, this guy is a performer. That's when I put this tweet out, like some promoter out there, man, they are two faced. But at least for Chatri, I have to speak. I spoke with him. I can't deny that. I spoke with him. I met him in person. We exchanged on text message. But this guy, David Feldman or whatever is it, I don't know that guy, to be
By the
honest.
way, the message that Chatri deleted, do you remember what it was?
Yes, he was like when I checked on it and look on the timing, the date, and he was the message that he was like, yes, I can fly to Cameroon. It was the I can fly
Mhm.
to Cameroon part. Yeah.
Okay.
But
The initial.
I have all his message. I'm like this guy like because when I went back and looked at the message. I'm like okay something, but they have told me about Chatri like oh is this? I'm like no, I can't judge a man by people opinion. I respect the guy, and they can all get wrong about somebody sometime. Uh, but he was just Chatri.
He said in the media that the deal was for a guaranteed of a minimum of 20 million for two fights. Did you ever even hear that number?
Um, Michael and Andrew, they told me about something that he was putting, but as I said, and listen, one of the things that was in Chatri deal, uh, that he was showing off like, okay, this is what I have. Like we have money, kind of type of thing. I'm like, listen, this is way more about money. You have to take consideration about some stuff, right? And we didn't talk about money. I didn't ask him anything. I listened to this guy talk. The only thing that we spoke about was like, oh, you know, introduction, talk about family, talk about fun stuff before get step into it. But I didn't talk anything about it, and I didn't
Mm.
say this is this. I want this. I didn't say like, oh, I could have this because obviously like if you're engaging with somebody in the negotiation, even if it's a good deal, you will still like, yes, but this, I mean, you get a leverage. If that's an offer, you get a leverage of negotiation. I didn't initiate anything. I didn't want to give him that hope. So he left the table like knowing that nothing is happening. Like I couldn't try and because at some point it was like, what can I do to make you change your mind? I'm like, I don't know. It's, you know, so I think he felt really bad about it.
This explains the board of directors and all that. You had told him, it seems, that this is what they were offering you, and he comes back and I guess interpret it as, oh, he's asking for this, and that, and I can't give him that. And so as I said,
I
a
didn't ask
classic
him
PR
for
move.
anything.
Okay.
I didn't ask
Now,
him for anything.
the one that I thought was really interesting that was quiet throughout this whole process was Bellator. Did you or your team ever talk to Bellator about a potential deal?
Yes, I met. Yeah, we talked to them, and they clearly, and they were very professional. They say at this stage, we are not in the position to initiate the offer. We wish you good luck and this. So they never made an offer, and they never made any big, of it. So we never have a negotiation.